Well, let's stay with what we're just seeing unfold there in the CBD. There's been concern over the welfare of children living in abandoned buildings. This after over 10 children were among the fatalities in yesterday's Joburg CBD fire. If these buildings are considered informal settlements, is social welfare aware of how many kids live there? Are they part of the system? Do they know if they're being educated? For more on this, I'm joined by Dr Shaheda Omar from the Teddy Bear Clinic, who joins us virtually from here in Johannesburg. Dr. Omar, I don't know if you were able to see those pictures that we brought live from the CBD right now. A mother with a baby in a blanket and a little toddler barefoot getting something to eat from a caregiver, thankfully. And those of us with toddlers know exactly where they are, wrapped up, hopefully in bed. In my case, in any case, that family hasn't had a safe place to sleep, at least now for 2 nights, and they probably don't know where they're going to sleep going forward.
Marcel, I think it's important to understand you raised some important questions around the whereabouts, the existence of these children. Do the authorities know where they are? I think it's important to realize that they would only come to the attention of the authorities if there's been any kind of reporting to the authorities, reporting to actually say that these children are in need of care, these children are at risk. So it would be an unfair expectation for any child welfare society or Department of Social Development to be aware of the existence or any knowledge of the children. I think, and the reality is that often when children are reported or there's cases of neglect or any omission or commission of abuse that is reported to the authorities, under those circumstances, a statutory social worker would then go out and investigate. So one can only speculate that at this point in time about the reality of the situation, of whether there is any prior knowledge of the existence of these children or not. Sometimes if they've gone to school and there are concerns at school, or they need to apply for identity documents, etc., or if they are in need of any kind of welfare support or grants, then they would come to the attention of the authorities. So I do not think at this point in time that Department of Social Development or any designated child protection organization would be aware of their existence.
And it does also mean that we have no idea how many children are living in these kind of conditions. I mean, just in the last hour, we brought the story of these mothers from Malawi. Because there's such a deficit of trust with the authorities, who did not want to get on the bus to go and find shelter. So if the parents don't feel safe to be giving their identity and to trust that where they're going is safe, it means that the children suffer as well, and that they cannot even begin to get into the system to ensure that they get the care that they need.
Indeed, and I mean, if we look at children, we know that so many young children, your toddlers and children under the age of 5, 7, and are actually attending unregistered facilities or daycare centers. So again, one would not know if these children are actually in need of care, if these children are at risk, because of the whole contextual concerns and the fear of being sent back to where they've come from. The parents or the caregivers are afraid of that, therefore would not actually even stand up for any kind of abuse that they are subjected to within these unregistered facilities. So it's quite a complex situation. I think if we look at the well-being, the mental health, the physical health, not only of the families, but of the children, are the children's best interests being met? Are the children's best interests being realized? I think that's questionable. But again, it's not purposeful. It's not deliberate. I think it's situational. It's the circumstances that have compelled caregivers to perhaps conduct themselves in the best way they can. It's all about survival, and it's about ensuring that they can continue providing for their children, and obviously trying to secure a future for themselves.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for that insight. That's Dr. Shaheda Omar from the Teddy